Hi, nice to meet you here, and I'm proud. I'm the first time here at this Ecosummit, and the first time to speak to you. I will show you what I've done in the past, that you get a little bit a picture of me and what I'm doing. And I'm 100% passionate for making the world a better place, and I'm passionate for sustainability. And what I've done in the past. Here you see a little guy, and that's not me, but it could be me in the year 1997. And I'm walking around. My parents had a farm, and I had to help my parents on that farm. And so I were in nature and have to live with the nature. And yeah, it's good to be there. But sometimes I don't like it, because I had to work when other guys, friends of me, were lying in or at the swimming pool and were lazy, and I had to be on the field and to collect some stones. So I said to the others, we are very rich in stones. Yeah, but what I did years later, I got the idea to install a wind turbine. I studied physics, I studied sports, and I tried to be a lazy guy. But as I were laying in hospital, I got the idea when I read an article in the newspaper to install a wind turbine to show people that we can produce electric energy on another way, on a natural way, not burning fossil fuels or using nuclear energy, just making electric power out of wind. And my parents told me, don't do that. It's very expensive. They were asking me, how much do you want to spend in the company? And I said, really, one wind turbine costs about 1 million Deutsche Mark. And they told me, no, don't do that. It's too much. And as I was 25, they told me, you're crazy. But I tried to convince my parents. And what I did, I were talking to friends of mine and brought them to my parents and told them, hey, here I have another 8 guys, and they are also crazy. They want to invest in that first wind turbine. And let's go further and let's make it. And my parents said, okay, if you divide 1 million by 9 or by 10, that's an amount we can afford, and so you will not be bankrupt if the company will be bankrupt. And a few years later, I were also thinking about to do another part of electric energy, not only using wind, using also the sun. But then people told me, oh, we don't have enough sun in Germany. Don't do that. And I installed what you see here. That's the farm of my parents. I installed the first solar plant there in the year 2000. And I will show you what I've did in the past on that slide. I founded at first a consultant company called Wiwin. It's Willenbacher Wind. And then with this consultant company and my friends, my other 8 friends, I installed the first wind turbine in about 9 months. From the idea to install that, manage it, develop that project, and installing it 9 months later. After installing that first wind turbine, I met a guy called Jung, and he said, I have problems developing my wind turbine. could you help me? And I said, yes, we can do that, but let's find an easy company name. And he said, you, and I said, we, and then we founded Juwi. That was easy, that was in 1906. And as I told you, 3 years later, we started PV. A few years later, we started with our first wind turbines in foreign countries, like the first wind farm in France, or like developing in the US or in Costa Rica, or many other places. But what we see, and as I saw 2 days ago on a discussion panel at the Berliner Energietage, nothing changed. Many people want or do not want that renewables are successful because they are invested in RWE, in big utilities. They have big companies which use a lot of energy and they get a lot of subsidies from the state. So they don't like renewables. And we have to fight a hard fight. Because of that, I founded 100% Erneuerbar Stiftung in the year 2010. And after that, I founded a company which tried to bring more people in the renewables, that they can more invest like Bürgerprojekte in renewables. And in the year 2011, our company Juwi made a revenue of 1 billion. In that time, we had around 1,500, 1,800 people working for Juwi. And everyone told us now it's the time for renewables because there we had the year of Fukushima and it was great and we were hiring a lot of people. But 1 year later, the German government said, we don't like solar energy because everyone can install that and we cannot handle it from the government, from the big utilities. So we don't like the subsidies for solar, and that was a point where we had to fire a lot of people. In that year, 2014, it was 400. And we had also to bring in a big utility. It's called MVV, Mannheimer Stadtwerke. And that wasn't easy. And a year later, I stepped out as the CEO of Juwi, and I were founding a lot of new companies like the Wiwin Consult. That's a company of my brother and his kids. I changed the name of Juwi Invest in Wiwin because I were buying the shares from Fred. And in this year, I founded the company Venture Capital. And so we wanted to close the gap for many startups because it's very difficult to get money between 100,000 and 1 million. High-Tech Gründerfonds does it, but I think there's no other fund which is doing that. So we will help startups also to get money in that range. And yeah, that's only to tell you that I have also a company which holds a lot of wind farms, wind parks all over Germany and in Europe, and also solar parks. That's what I told already, the Juwi group, and yeah, I got some honors, but that's not so important. And as I told you, I will close the gap for many startups, and our office that we offer 100,000 euros to invest directly as equity. And we offer also crowd financing, as we did for Sono Motors, for example. And yeah, the benefits for the startups are the opportunity to obtain funding, for the crowdfunding, it's also a marketing tool, and yeah, you get more awareness. And what I can bring to the startups is my experience over 20 years of founding companies. And also, what I have seen is to fire people. That's very hard and very emotional. And everything is easy if you grow and grow every year. That's very easy. But if you have to fire people, that's very, very hard. And if it changes to bring also another company, over 20 years we had 50-50, Fred and me, and that changed. And in that period, I think I learned more about companies than in the years of growing. So, thank you.
Well done. Thank you very much, Matthias. How big is your fund? How much money do you have under management in venture capital?
First step, 5 million.
5 million.
Yeah.
And it's all your own money, or you raised it from some of your friends?
That's all my money, but I will look to raise money from my friends too.
Okay.
to make more than 5 million.
Okay. Thank you very much, Matthias Willenbacher.